The last of the shapes we'll look at, the quadrilateral group, is the square. A square is definitely a type of parallelogram. The definition for the square is kind of unique. It actually is usually stated is that basically a square is both a rhombus and a rectangle. Now remember, a rhombus and a rectangle are also parallelograms. So a square is a parallelogram, a rhombus, and a rectangle. That means it will have all of the parallelogram properties. It will have all of the rhombus properties, and it will have all of the rectangle properties, every single one. The interesting thing about a square is that you don't need to know a single angle. You can find them all. So, for instance, we know that this has to be 90 degrees. And we know, because it's a rhombus, that these get bisected right here. So this has to be 45 and 45. That makes everybody 45 and 45. And it's also a rhombus, and so we know the diagonals are perpendicular. We just found every angle in a square. No matter what square you have, those are the angles. Now the only other thing that's involved is the sides. Let's give you one side. Let's say that this is 10. We know that it has 4 equal sides. That's a rhombus item. Now, let's get inside to the diagonals. You could use the Pythagorean Theorem, which is 10 squared plus 10 squared equals this diagonal squared. Or if you've learned, which you should have, the special right triangles. This is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle with sides of 10, 10. So I'm going to just say it. The diagonal is 10 root 2, which makes each piece 5 root 2. And I have every piece of information I want. Now they might play around with you a little bit. They might tell you the diagonal is 5, or half of the diagonal is 5, and may ask for this. And you know that this is a right angle here. This is again a 45, 45, and so 5 squared and 5 squared, but we know that the hypotenuse is root 2 times bigger, and so I could find that quite easily. A square has all of the characteristics wrapped up into one shape, and it uses them to make it a very rigid, very focused shape. The square is known as the regular quadrilateral. And what makes it regular is that it has 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles. And it is the perfectly symmetrical shape of 4 rotation symmetry and 4 lines of symmetry. It's a great shape.